It's almost here. We've only got 2 days left until we will be at Disneyland after 15 years away. So excited. Today, we're looking at budget and expenses and how much this trip is actually costing. As we get ready to go to Disneyland here in 2 more days, it's almost here. We've been looking at the plane to make sure the seats are all assigned correctly and nothing's happened unusual and getting everything in place. We're just about ready to start packing. In fact, some of us have actually already started packing. But part of this is over the last several months, in fact, almost a year of planning, we've had to spend a good amount of money. Now, I'm very grateful, very incredibly, oh my goodness, grateful to Alex at THS Media. And as you start seeing the numbers here, you're going to understand why I am so grateful. Because a trip to Disneyland is not cheap. If you've got kids, they can be a little cheaper, but we've got 5 adults that are going. It makes for some expense. I mean, one of the very first things is, where are you going to stay? With 5 adults, you're not going to fit in one room. You can make 2 rooms work, but it's getting a little questionable, and oftentimes with us, for 5 adults, you'd end up with 3 rooms. Especially since it's me, 2 of my kids who are adults now, and 2 of their friends, so there's not even married couples, so this is not a shared bed situation. What we've got is we have a suite that we have been blessed with. It's a 2-room suite, so there's a bedroom with a couple queen beds, there's a living area with a sofa bed, there's room for a hide bed. We're actually taking an air mattress with us, and that way we can get all 5 of us into this 2-room suite. So we will actually pay less that way. We're staying at a fairly nice hotel that's right across the street. There's conventions going on. If you're familiar with the Anaheim area around Disneyland, the hotels can be fairly expensive. You can find some cheap ones, but you're going to know you were in a cheap hotel. We're staying for 6 nights, and for this suite looking right out at Disneyland, right up at the front by Harbor, it is just over $1,700. In fact, to be exact, it's $1,728, including all of the taxes, the fees, and all the other stuff that they tag on in that area. So $1,728 over the course of 6 nights. That comes out to $288 every night. Now, you can think about that in comparing 2 rooms. That would be about $130 a night, including all of the fees, which isn't bad for that area. Again, you can get some cheaper, but with adults, this is going to be very nice. You can also go up a whole lot more that way as well, because goodness knows, if you stay just one room at one of the Disney hotels, you're going to be paying a lot more than this. The actual tickets into the parks are kind of a fixed expense. If you're military, you can get some discounts. You might be able to get some through AAA, but not much. Generally, Disney tickets themselves aren't going to be discounted, especially when you're buying them months in advance. So they were $470 each. That's for a 5-day ticket with Max Pass every single day. Now, Max Pass by itself is about $15 a day, so you're looking $75 just for Max Pass for each one of the 5 of us. And then the multi-day ticket, and they're park hoppers too, so we can go back and forth, which we will definitely be doing some park hopping. Yeah, so by the time you take 5 Disneyland tickets at 5 days each, now you're looking at a total of $2,350. Those tickets are our single biggest expense by far. Nothing else is actually coming close to that. So $2,350 for the tickets, $1,728 for the room. Now we've got to get there. Now, depending upon where you live, of course, you're going to have different options and different rates and different expenses. If you're remotely close, you can drive. Well, driving is not an option for us. We're in Missouri. It is a 3-day drive almost to be able to get there. And then, of course, you got the car. And I don't know about you. I can't really afford 5 or 6 days of driving to Disneyland. I've got work and other stuff to do. Plus, we've got 2 friends coming with us from Florida, and they certainly aren't going to be driving 5 days each way. So then the hunt was on for cheap plane tickets. And tickets can fluctuate and vary very much depending upon where you are flying out of, where you are flying into, which airline you're flying on, what amenities you're getting with them. And so that all really can change a lot. We did a lot of shopping around, a lot of poking and prodding. My kids and I are flying on Delta both ways in and out of Kansas City because it's much cheaper to fly out of there than it is our local airport. Our two friends are flying from Orlando out to LAX on Delta, and then they're returning on JetBlue because we were able to get cheaper tickets that way and get them decent tickets as well. Grand total for all of our fares, all five of us, going both ways, round trip, using some points and other reward dollars, we came out to about $1,100 for our plane tickets. Now, we did a couple things with our tickets that cost a little bit more. We were able to pick our seats in advance. We didn't go the most cheapest basic fares, where you're waiting to see if you're actually going to get a seat, where you're definitely going to be stuck in the middle of the seat, where you may not be able to use your carry-on luggage, you may have to check it in. I've flown that way before. It stinks. And especially since we have a very first-time flyer who's never been on a plane before, we wanted to make sure that she was actually with her friend and not stuck in the middle of two strangers, which would not be a fun first flight, especially for 5 hours plus, along with some of the other extras. So $1,100 for the plane tickets, and actually, if you think about it, 5 adults flying round trip down into LA and back, that's really a pretty good rate because we're looking at less than $225 a person, including all the fees and everything else. I'll take that. Of course, we need to get from the airport to the hotel and back. That always helps if you can actually get there. Again, a lot of shopping around, spending time, actually booking it, and then realizing I could get a cheaper rate with the same company later and rebooking it. We ended up with a round trip private shuttle van from LAX down to the hotel and then back again, $150. That is a heck of a deal. That same deal if you wanted to ride the Mickey's Express bus, the Disney one, is going to run you over $400 for 5 adults. So yes, we're getting a good rate on that. And then there's of course a couple of extras that we are doing. We are going to the Oogie Boogie Bash on one night, which we are so excited about. I mean, we've got costumes and all sorts of stuff ready for this. Well, the Oogie Boogie Bash tickets are $110 each. We're being joined by my sister at this, so we had 6 Oogie Boogie Bash tickets. $660 to go to this party. The good news is you can actually get in as early as 2 o'clock this year. So you get the whole day pretty much for those tickets, along with all the party extras. So that's pretty cool. But $660. And that's on top of the $2,350 we already paid for the 5-day hopper tickets. So we've got almost $3,000 just in tickets. Our other big expense is the Blue Bayou. This is our other special. We booked the Fantasmic package for the Friday night, so that way we wouldn't have to worry about getting in to have a spot. We've got a reserved spot. I've never eaten at the Blue Bayou, so this is the big splurge, really, for us. Yeah, one meal, a big splurge. This meal is going to run us about $100 a person, including the tips and taxes and all of that. So $600 for the Blue Bayou. See how this is starting to add up? And I'm very grateful because all of that, honestly, Alex is covered. That's how incredibly blessed we are. So wonderfully appreciated there. Then we have a couple other things. Food. You know, you do like to eat while you are at Disney. It kind of helps. And we've got 6 days of food to worry about. So $50 a day for food. That gives us 2 meals in the park because a decent meal at Disney is going to run you $15 to $20 a person. Gives you another $10 to get a snack, or maybe pinch your meal money a little bit and then get 3 meals. Eat outside the park, perhaps. But 3 meals a day or 2 meals and a snack in the parks, we're figuring about $50 a day. 5 people, that's $300 a day for food, times all those days, and we come out with about $1,500 just for our food. Whew! That one we're footing, so we're all covering our own ends on that. Then, on top of that, we do have a couple other extras. My family is actually driving up to Kansas City the night before we fly out because we're flying out early. So we've got 2 hotel rooms up at the Kansas City airport booked on the way out and 2 more on the way back because we're arriving at 11:45 at night. So with those 2 hotel rooms, that's an extra $300. We got them for about $75 a night, including all the fees and everything. So $300 there, and the long-term parking up at Kansas City as well. So that's another $50. You're thinking, yeah, but if you had flown out of your local airport, you wouldn't have had to pay that. For us to fly out of our local airport, just the 3 of us, it would have cost us well over $1,000 more. So we are actually saving at least $700 driving up to Kansas City and flying out of there as opposed to if we'd flown out of home. trying to save every little bit we can. All of that totaled up, not including souvenirs, not including anything extra we purchased, not including splurges and other things that we may end up doing. Just that package alone. Our grand total comes out to $8,438 for 5 adults at a week at Disneyland. Woo-hoo! A grand total out of our pockets, we're paying close to $2,000 of it. Which tells you how grateful I am to Alex, because there's no way that we could have afforded all of that on our own. He has been a huge help. This would never have happened without him. But that gives you an idea. If you're thinking about a Disneyland vacation for 5 adults, gives you a price range. Now, if you're going with 2 adults and 2 kids, which is more typical, or even just 2 adults, you're going to save money on tickets. That's going to cost you less. You may or may not be doing Oogie Boogie Bash. You can save money on those tickets. You'll be able to cut the food costs down if you've got less people. Kids' tickets are cheaper into the parks. So you're going to be able to save money on those things if you are a smaller group or a mixed group of adults and kids and things like that. But that gives you an idea of where we're at. And yes, this trip easily could have cost a lot more. But all that said, we've got our money set aside. We've all got the money in our wallets and our gift cards and everything else that we could stash ahead of time. And we're ready to go. 2 days. 2 days. In fact, as you actually watch this, we're actually getting in the car tomorrow to start driving to Kansas City to get ready to go. So we'll be in Disneyland in 2 days, but the trip starts tomorrow. Oh boy, can't wait. I'd love to hear what your kind of budgets are. If you've got others that are different than ours, share it below. If you've got other hints on saving money or things that work great for you, please share them as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for their support, because they're also helping to kick in and cover some of the expenses. If you want to know more about Patreon and supporting me and some of the other things that we do, the fan pages, merchandise stuff, please look below. We've got tons in the description. And if you're in the area October 5th, next Saturday, I hope to see you over at the Anaheim Garden Walk at 11 a.m. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless. The tickets are a fictitious... If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much, and God bless.